Avenues to Wealth in Abuja, the Minister of Avenues to Wealth in Abuja, the Governor of Avenues to Wealth in Abuja, the Mayor of Avenues to Wealth in Abuja, the President of Avenues to Wealth. Thank you very much. You are welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a very serious matter, but I would not want to emphasize anything. I want to use this opportunity to welcome you to this program again today. Just before I go ahead, I would like to take your attention back to the timetable that you have in your hands. Is there anybody here who doesn't have this timetable? Okay, I don't know if you have been told this before, but just in case you haven't been told, I need to bring your attention to this. If you look at the timing on the timetable, the timing for today is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The timing for today is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The timing for tomorrow is 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you look at the program for tomorrow, everywhere you have 3, just imagine it's 4. Everywhere you have 4, imagine it's 5. And everywhere you have 6, imagine it's 7. Just to correct that impression, because it's not correctly stated on the timetable. Okay, at this juncture, I would like to find out how far we have come already. If there's anybody who has a different impression about this industry or about Avenues to Wealth than you had when you stepped in, I would like to have any answer. Just 1 second, please. Let me just finish with it. The impression you had before you came into it. Can you go ahead and say what you want?
Yes, my name is A2W, and of course my observation before I came in here is, though he tried explaining it, because over time, any system that lacks integrity loses confidence with the people. Because I know that there were other several networking platforms that failed. People had invested their money, and after a while, the system could not support, the reward system. I bet he did try to explain it using the pyramid and posing, if I'm correct, method that if you have a system that is not backed up by product or service, over time it will definitely crash. I think by this, he had erased my doubts about the workability of Avenue to Wealth system.
Okay, thank you very much. The reason why I asked this question, I mean, what has changed between then and now? It may be too short, you may not have had enough yet to probably change something significant in what your impression has been of this industry, or probably of this country. You see, but the point basically is that, like the Holy Book says, my people perish because of what? Basically. That has been the bane of the industry. Okay? Now, majority of the times, previous mindsets, from all sorts of experiences in the past, and the things people carry over. Now, the key thing, just before I go very quickly into this, the key thing is something that I mentioned quite a number of times. This is an industry that takes anyone and everyone. As long as you are interested, you are dedicated, and you are committed. It's an industry that doesn't require a qualification from you. It's an industry that doesn't consider you on the basis of height, sex, color, race, religion, and all of that. So what it means is it's an all-comers affair. Now, people assume that they come into this industry and expect to come and perform magic without learning the rudiments, right? If you're a medical doctor, or rather before you become a medical doctor and you would have to practice in the hospital, treat patients and all of that, you go to medical school. You acquire the relevant degrees and qualifications before you are qualified enough to do that. As a lawyer, before you represent anybody in court, you will acquire the law degree. You go to law school, acquire all requisite qualifications before you are qualified to do that. So this industry should not be different, despite the fact that it allows just anyone and anybody to come in. So basically what we're doing, with this, most especially with respect to the napkin presentation, is trying to lay down the fundamental things that need to be done to do this business. At this juncture, even though it's been mentioned a number of times, I'm at this juncture doing a formal introduction of this book. Those who are not heard about it enough, but those who have not heard about it at all. This is actually the Don Filer book, How to Hold Your Life by Don Filer, the 45-second presentation. Right now, it's more or less a Bible of avenues to wealth, on the basis of which we get training on how to do this business. This book was written by a man. I mean, if you look behind the book, himself and his wife, who are actually doing this business in this industry together. Written by a man who has been in this industry and practiced this business since 1967, over 40 years. He's been married for 40 years plus, and he tried a system that made him successful in this industry, that made him get up to 200,000 distributors in his organization or his team in less than 10 years. If somebody like this is talking about what to do and how to do it in this industry, then we should listen to it. That's what this is about. You'll be hearing a lot about the napkin presentations, and I'm actually starting with the very first one. If you look at the timetable talks about duplication. That's what I'm supposed to be talking about. Duplication, 2 by 2 is what? 2 by 2 equals beautiful. Power of multiplication. Now, what this says is usually a whole lot of people come into this business with a mindset. In fact, it's one of the most popular reasons that chase people away. And some people describe it in various ways. Oh, that business that you have to go and look for people and start looking for people. I don't know if it's for money and trust or for what. I don't know why you're looking for people. In business, you have to look for people and look for people. Understand what you have to do, even if you have to get people involved. What exactly are you supposed to do? And what exactly will give you the desired results that you want? Is there anybody here, no matter what you do, who doesn't need extra income? If there's any such person here, can I see your hand up? Is there anybody here who has made so much money, he or she is tired of making money? Then if there's no such person here, you should listen to this. Okay? Now, this is the very first napkin presentation, which talks about the power of multiplication, 2 by 2 equals 4. What this says basically is that if all you're able to do is to sponsor 2 people. When I say sponsor, what do we mean by the word sponsor? Sponsor actually incorporates 3 things. It incorporates recruitment, sales, and teaching. So if all of those are not complete in that particular exercise, then you have not sponsored anyone. So basically, what has happened a whole lot in this industry is that people just recruit and recruit. You know, it's like catching a fish. The moment you catch the fish, you put it in the basket and you go searching for another fish. Okay? But the idea is that you have done a disservice to the person that you have introduced or recruited if you actually do not